Recording is on.
Okay.
So I can't actually edit this document.
You can't the document? Maybe I made some. Yeah, wait. Let me update that. All right, it should be okay now. It's a mess before. So do we want to focus on the nonprofit budget or on the umbrella website? Because there, I mean, one would be the prime trajectory, and the other one would be like other work. But I mean, this is not a pre-scheduled
I feel
session.
like not necessarily because the prime trajectory overlaps in relationship to the budget. Like if we're gonna move forward with our plan, like we put CCC under the SVG plan. Remember, like that CCC budget, it had to be part of the plan because it was such a top priority, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I'd like to try to just do 15 minutes on each. If we could just do a little bit on each, just to kind of follow up and get caught up on in terms of like the end of the main session and kind of what the outcomes are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So let's start with the prime trajectory, and then we can maybe do the nonprofit budget. What do you think?
The main question I have in relationship to the trajectory is like schedule, right? If what it means for tomorrow's schedule, and obviously we need to get more training and all that. But anyways, that's all good. I don't know if we'll get to a view up, but
okay.
It's good to have next steps.
Mm-hmm.
So should we get into topic 1?
Yeah, topic 1, prime trajectory planning. Okay, so obviously now we have agreement from the team that we have a clear prime trajectory, which is very cool. So it's the umbrella showcase website launch. Right. So I don't know what you want to do, Jay. I mean, do we want to use the list that we had for SVG and we want to expand that, or we want to create a new one for the priorities?
I think we should link the SVG priorities to our new umbrella showcase website priorities and plan. I mean, we're creating a new updated plan that's going to be a few months instead of a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, we already have this.
What?
We already have the prime trajectory management spreadsheet. Let me link that here.
Oh, so we need to do branding and identity. I think it's one of our top priorities at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the nonprofit budget, the schedule. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
There's also training, right? Trajectory training.
Mm-hmm.
We have to decide what format, right? So website format. So it should be like, we're going to do another WordPress, we do, Google site,
right? But yeah, I have a question, right? Because you said before that we wanna concentrate on the I mean the websites that are gonna be showcased are the ones that are gonna be in detail and all very specific on everything, right? But this doesn't mean that, I mean, all the websites that are going to be showcased needs to be ready for the launch, or yes.
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 All right. So we need a brainstorm list of
Websites.
some list of websites to include or to showcase, websites to showcase.
Yeah.
We need to get agreement on websites to complete for launch, right? So basically whatever we agree to, those websites, including SVG website, needs to be completed for the launch, right? Because we want the launch to be fully complete, right? And we want to have it all work one whole functioning picture, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So we need to. This is a top priority for sure. I mean, because let's can we make an hypothesis? Because based on that, we can also understand better what's the timeline can be. And
Yeah, we want to really clarify our criteria. I think that would be part of the branding and identity.
criteria for the websites, you mean?
Well, no, our criteria for
the launch.
All of the above. Our criteria for the website, right? And brand, right? And identity. Like, what are we doing? Like, what is the criteria of what we're doing? I feel like that is very important, right?
Yeah.
We don't need. This is good to list what we don't need to do, right? List of what we do not need to do. We do not need to do a sponsorship proposal.
Yeah.
For this particular project, we might need to do a sponsorship. We might need to update sponsorship proposal for F2N Workers Co-op if we choose to showcase that. That determines whether or not we want to showcase that and what the criteria is. Again, the criteria for me is like, we want our website to be professional. We want the website to be easy for the public to understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Professional, easy for public to understand. And then we want to showcase, what is active within our team, right? So for right now, we know we have 3 active programs. We have SVG, we've got sponsorship, and we have life support, right?
Okay.
So all 3 of those need to be showcased because we want them to be showcased. They're active and they're functioning, they're going to be functional, right? And that's the whole idea, is get them all functional and launch. Basically, the idea is to launch them all at the same time, right? So that basically we have a full picture so the public understands what we're doing. In addition to that, we want to also consider other components of what we are actively engaging in, which is ourselves, right? Like, so I feel like the FQN Workers Co-op and the actual organization that we are, I think might be a very important thing to showcase because it's very active. It's the primary functionality of our entire team. And it also showcases a lot of our methodologies and ideas and vision and everything. So that could be a really good component of what we are and what we do and what we're presenting, And that also includes all the equity and the value and the tokens. I mean, all that is part of our team. And it's kind of like the administrative branch of the network,
Yeah.
So anyway, so those are some of the thoughts. That would be a 4th website, right? So that would be 4 websites that we're showcasing on this umbrella showcase website, which would be 5 websites total. And obviously we go on and on and on. There could be many more.
Yeah, but we want to focus on what we're doing now.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we want to brainstorm all of the possibilities. I think we should definitely review the list of all the websites, understand what they are, and like basically prioritize and brainstorm any and all of the websites that we think are possible to include, because that'll give us a really clear direction on where we're going, you know, and what we feel like is important. And then we just need to prioritize the ones that we actually feel like we need for the launch.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think this is this is the very important. I mean, we should definitely be starting with this. And of course, the schedule. But
well, the schedule is essential. So what is the schedule? Like tomorrow, there's taxes, right?
yeah,
Where is
tomorrow there is the in Hydra we have a their schedule is in the team approved schedule here. Team schedule approved and agreed sessions. Here. So tomorrow Hydra we have a work session on the rest of the work, like the 50% for the. So we're gonna check in first with Moth, and we're gonna decide to focus on taxes probably. Yes.
Cool. All right. So so tomorrow can either be a work session or a main session, depending on what needs to be done. Seems like you guys are fine just doing some.
Yeah, we're very behind.
Some work.
Need to catch up
on the work. Yeah. So and then we have tomorrow we have a prime trajectory work session for Andromeda, which looks like it's not. Oh, the Umbrella website. Yeah. So tomorrow we're working on the Umbrella website, which we're going over right now. All right. So so I think tomorrow really our main focus needs to be on just building the plan, getting all the steps sort of clear, and we don't need a full timeline, but basically knowing what the priorities are, and then we can start setting up the process for how we're going to make that happen.
Yeah, perfect.
But I think it's really exciting. I mean, it's just really cool that as a team, one of the big, extremely important aspects of what we are and what we're capable of is that we can basically just say that we're going to do this. Then we know in 3 months we're going to have an Umbrella website with 3 or 4 showcase websites within it, and it's going to be amazing, right? And for the first time possibly ever, people will actually be able to have a much clearer picture of what we're doing. And ideally, this is another point that goes in the criteria, I would like it to be work towards grant ready, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to be able to fundraise and write grants for the Umbrella website in that, I'm not expecting to necessarily get grants. So maybe not grant ready is not the right word, but able to write grants and fundraise with this website. That's for me a very important criteria point, that for the first time it'll be able to showcase what we're actually doing, right? And then present that to the public in a way that people will be like, wow, this is really cool. I want to see this happen. Let's put money into it. Let's fund this grant opportunity. That's for me very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should talk more to Mel. We could, if we get an agreement, we could directly showcase a good cause group for these grants.
Well, I think we definitely talked about good cause group, but that good cause group is not going to be showcased because good cause group is just under SVG.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we're just going to showcase SVG and all of the grant writing, all of the clients for everything.
Yeah, correct.
Right, and I think she said she was thinking about moving towards not having that happened. But I think overall, like, I mean, that gives us another point of the criteria. Like, what is the purpose of the website? I mean, for me, I feel like the purpose of the website is to showcase a single vision, in essence, which is the branches of FQN, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to actually, for the first time, have a publicly facing website for FQN, which we've never had before, right? It's always been a whole bunch of, dozens of websites that are all not connected and just all over the place,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I feel like this is the first time we're trying to actually build a cohesive picture of what we do and who we are.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Very.
And we can always add websites in the future,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and also the cause group gets basically brought into FQN, then yeah, maybe we could showcase it. But I think that we should only showcase websites that are under our model,
absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying if we get agreement, they go under FQN. No, I didn't say that, but I was thinking that, of course. No, and
It's not
what?
necessary to showcase good cause group. If we have social value group, I think it's not.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be the partner, the external partner for the grants, but in SVG.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
Coolio. So
Okay. So no, I wanted to say something very quick. Yeah, I mean, when we brainstorm the list of websites, we should definitely like say, all right, this website we don't want it at all. This goes into the past. This website is for now, like as you said, like the ones that we need for the launch. Then we can also make a list of the ones that we want to be adding. I don't know as soon as possible, but I mean the ones that we know that we want to always be that we
well, I
want
mean, for
to
me,
be
the way
added.
I was thinking about it is like, for example, community equity .net is presentable and definitely a viable option to
Yeah.
showcase. And also it's technically active because, or we maybe community equity, we don't necessarily want to have it on the main showcase, but we could have it under our co-op, right? So our co-op functions with community equity, but really the whole network functions with community equity, because the whole idea of community equity is that by sharing 25% of the value of every single program, you're linking all the community equity together across the entire network and beyond. And so you automatically own a portion of the entire network instead of just one organization, right? So
Mhm.
for me, community equity is actually the fundamental foundational principle in our organizing model,
Yeah.
and the
Very
website
cool.
is reasonably presentable.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that would be an example of something that we could consider. Maybe we say, no, for now, let's just focus on these 4 or 3 or 4, but maybe that's something that we consider. Obviously something like that, we would want to go through it in detail and double check each page and make sure it is something that, there's probably updating that needs to be made before it can
Yeah.
be really used. But the point is that's an example of what I'm talking about. I mean, I could give dozens and dozens of examples of things that might be cool
Hmm.
to include because they would be great projects, but it's just like parallel governance would be amazing to include, but we don't really have a good active website that's functional and presentable, right? I have some draft websites that we could look at, but they're not active nor are they functional.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We should, like it's not like community equity. We just need a two over, like you say, a little two over, and that's it. It's super presentable. Yeah, super cool. And we should try to add as many of these websites. I mean that we
Yeah,
think
the
that.
other website, obviously, I would love to do the planetary sessions. I mean, the planetary
Mhm.
sessions for me is in essence the core of the African Community Network. I mean, that's our entire primary public interaction. So I would love to do that, but again, we're just not doing the primary planetary sessions right now, right? So we will add that in the future whenever we're ready to
To do it again.
prioritize.
Yeah.
But for now, obviously, we can't. There's just no way.
Yeah. Okay.
But we
So,
can have it on our brainstormed websites.
yeah, for sure. All right, Jay. I think
All right, so let's go
that's
to
a good
topic
start.
2, right?
Yeah, topic 2.
We can just use the 0 topic one here. So say topic. Oh, you already put one in there, right? Never mind. So did you ever get the email from Stacy?
Which one? Recent?
Yeah, the CCC plan recap. So this is here, I'll go over this with you. So this is what I talked to Stacy about, I think on Monday. Of course, she starts with an apology. It's so funny. For the delay in publishing email, actually gotten considerably worse since I touched base yesterday. In addition to my voice and head not running to fever, and it's continuing. Oh no, he's sick. That's horrible. That's not good. All right.
Yeah, Mel said she has COVID. But
oh no, COVID.
Yeah.
Worse. Jeez. All right. But that's probably why she wasn't around today. Didn't make the session. Especially because COVID. All right. So the plan is 1, the CCC board recruitment. 2, the nonprofit budget. And then 3, the approval of the budget. So we need to recruit the board, we need to draft the budget, and then we need to approve the budget. So those are the 3 parts.
Okay.
And obviously the approval of the budget, this is what we would call staffing, right?
So by all 3 boards, HR, nonprofit, here it was written team, right? Team.
Yeah, the nonprofit board needs to approve the budget.
The CCC, right?
HR board obviously needs to approve the budget, and then the team, right? This would be like the core team. To approve. But I mean, the core team technically approved it first.
Yeah.
And then whether it goes to the HR board first or second, I mean, I don't know. I mean, technically speaking, the HR board and the nonprofit board do very, very different things. Like the core team, approves the budget itself, right? The HR board is basically, I guess, the core team approves the budget to present to HR board, something like that, and then the HR board finalizes after certification, something like that. Certification. The nonprofit board just does review and makes sure it is legal, right? So the nonprofit board doesn't technically need to actually, do a formal anything, but it's like when we're spending the nonprofit money, it does need to at least review and make sure it's all legal and approve it so that it meets all the legal components, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we had some minimum for the CCC board. I don't know if you want to see them again. Some minimum things we wanted to get for the recruitment. We get them. Where was it? SVG launch.
Right. So I mean, the thing that you're going to is definitely helping with the recruitment. So why don't we come down to line 23 or so, and then actually get focused on recruitment. That sound good?
Yeah, I wanted to get this list, but I cannot find it anymore. So it was cool. I don't know where I put it. Okay.
So for me, for the recruitment, I'm down in line 26 here. I really, really want to, just hone down and do a FQN recruitment process, right? I mean, we've been talking about doing FQN volunteer recruitment for so long. So the idea here is really just following, the normal steps and responsibilities, the normal process and set it all up correctly. Just do it. Like, I mean, I want it to be public, right?
Okay.
Interactive. We want to get the post going. We want to like choose where to post, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we're just going to do the posts, get the input, do the follow-up. And while we do all of that, we can also have these lawyers and these other specific people that we're following up with Mel and that other people are doing. And then we're going to follow up with everybody in terms of like, when we find interested people, we'll work with the emails and the communication and like schedule sessions and basically start training them, right, if they're interested. But I don't want to skip just the normal public recruitment process. I think it's important to just
Yeah, I think so too.
build and also I wouldn't even mind expanding the funnel, to include. So if we're doing recruitment, basically we're doing board recruitment, we're doing volunteer recruitment, we're doing membership recruitment, and technically speaking, anyone can always propose for paid work, right? Can propose for paid work, so that would be like normal paid recruitment, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're basically doing all of those at the same time, but we're going to present it as this is the board, this is what we want to do, but the board is a volunteer position. If anyone wants to be involved and volunteer, you're welcome to volunteer as well. You don't only have to work on the board. And, if you don't want to be a board member, you can also be in the membership. Oh, and I remember the other one. The other one is the advisory network. I think it might make sense to just get our advisory network set up, functional. Yeah, and just do it all because it's all the same thing. Like this is all the same thing.
We already have
right. So the only difference between it is
Legal Shield, right?
What?
Legal Shield.
No, I'm talking about something different.
You're talking about something different. All right.
Like when you talk about Legal Shield, that was for SVG, and that was specifically for our SVG advisors, SVG collaborators, and partners, right?
Okay.
This is something different. This is our advisory board and network. So our advisory board and network is for, people who want to be on the board, but do not want to take responsibility or liability.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So our advisory board and our advisory network is basically, anyone who's interested in being an advisor can basically it's kind of like, inviting them to join it. And then they want to come to the advisory board meetings, they can. But really the only difference is that, the board members or the board directors have legal authority. So board directors have legal authority and right? They're legally required to make decisions on the best interest, in this case, for the public benefit, right?
Yeah. So, how many
board members saying they just don't have any legal responsibilities?
Okay. Right. But how many board members are we looking for?
I think ideally minimum of 3.
3, right?
3. Want 3 minimum, and then I think overall you don't want your board. Usually a board is like 5 to 10 people. You don't. Some people really don't want it to be above 5, but 5 is really the minimum. But sometimes 5 is like the number that you want. But for me, it's like you have 10 people on the board, and then you schedule a meeting, and 5 show up. Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm fine with having 10, up to 10. But the point is that usually but the difference is that, you don't want to only have 5 people interested. You want to have 100 people interested, and then you only approve 5 to 10, right? That's what we want. We want 100 people who want to be on the board, and then we narrow that down to 5, 10 people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously we're not in that situation. But the point is that we can invite people and then try to find who was willing to do it.
Yeah, let's.
And there's a lot of restrictions to who can be on the board. Like the board is very restricted to people who are basically, you know, they can't be related to us. They can't be getting paid. They can't be, you know, I mean, even there's issues of the multiple family board members. There's all these things that are restrictive in terms of who can be on a board and what it means, you know.
Yeah,
the nonprofit board.
Those are the bylaws, right?
So anybody who doesn't meet the specific requirements can just, you know, we can invite them to be on the advisory board and the advisory network. And some people might might prefer to be on the advisory board and the advisory network at first, and then they can move from the advisory board and advisory network to like the official board where they actually have legal responsibilities. So I feel like it makes a lot of sense. Like, okay, if we think about the you know, if you think about the post, right? The post and presentation of all this information, basically you would present, you know, we are officially looking for board directors for the cause collective community, CCC 501c3 nonprofit public charity. And then it'd be something like, you know, board directors cannot be paid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, basically the criteria. For those who are interested in getting involved, you can also join our, you can join, we're getting involved, but not ready, you know, but not ready for the legal commitments, right? You can join the advisory board / network, you know, and be involved without, you know, the legal relationship, you know. So from there we can also say, like, you know, anyone who would like to be on the board, or others who just want to volunteer, can get involved in all of our projects and activities. We might want to explain a little bit, explain a bit of what we do. People understand that. Maybe we could even explain a bit of what the board does. And then also, you know, we can explain anyone who wants to be can be on the advisory board, and then also you can be a volunteer or a member. So anyone who likes to be on the board, you can just want to be a volunteer or member who helps elect or appoint the board directors, right? So the membership appoints the board director. So somebody who might not be ready to be on the board itself, but wants to get involved, might be interested in joining our membership.
Cool.
So they can be a member.
Do you want me? You want me to write a draft of this, or we want to do it together? Like a complete draft from these guidelines.
I mean, whatever you want to do is fine. Yeah, we need to draft it. So we need to draft a post. You could also use some of our old posts as like a kind of framework, but obviously it's going to be. Actually, do we have? I think we have a volunteer post. I think we do have a volunteer post.
We do.
Yeah, we could. You could start with that, and then basically just change everything out to present basically what we're doing now, which is this specific recruitment for the CCC. So, I mean, basically, I think what we want here is we want basically, you know, one paragraph clearly stating our primary objective, which is basically the board, right? And then one paragraph that is more flexible for people who, you know, don't meet the very specifics of the board. You know, anyone can get involved at any level they want, including getting paid, right?
Yeah.
So, or proposing to get into the budget. I think we can leave that part out. But anyways, the point is that anyone get involved any way that they want to, right? because we're basically doing outreach here. Anyone who sees it, if they don't want to be on the board, they don't have to be on the board, and they can still get involved. So we want to make sure that's clear in our outreach, because why outreach for the board if we're not inviting the public to get involved anyways?
Yeah, absolutely.
And as far as like what the board does, the board oversees our sponsorship programs, sponsorship/cooperative programs, to make sure our programs follow legal requirements.
Okay.
And
So the limitations for the board are in the bylaws, right, of CCC. The one
what?
The limitations to the board, like the ones you cannot be related, and the other things.
A little bit.
Those are in the bylaws, right? That you did the other time, the other day of CCC.
A little bit, yeah, but it's written differently. I mean, we just want to present the information. We don't want to present what's in the bylaws.
No. Yeah, this was just my question for myself. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay, so then from this is the post, but going back to the actual recruitment process, right? Obviously you start with your setup. You start with your we need the intake form.
Yeah.
We need the POP instructions. We need the follow-up lists and responsibilities and for responsibly organizing. And obviously part of the setup is also doing the recruitment round sheet, right? So recruitment round sheet. So we're required to have like a sheet that would link everything together and keep everything organized and clear. So basically coordinating and managing this particular recruitment round, right? Which is different than our previous recruitment rounds, but it's technically a recruitment round just like any other.
But how long do we want to put already a established time frame? How long this recruitment round should last or no? As soon as we find three board members, we close.
Yeah. So once the board members are chosen and that's completed, like we're done. But again, if people want to be on the membership, I mean, the membership needs to technically appoint the board if we do it correctly. So the first thing we need to do is get people on the membership, and then the membership will finalize who's on the board, right? So we're going to make a list of a list of where we want to ask people to get involved. Right, so we have a lot of people who are already involved that we can ask. From there, we can expand.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
But I mean, I feel that's the main thing that's missing is that we just don't do the work, right? I mean, this is the work, right? The work is actually doing the recruitment round, making sure the intake form works, making sure we have the POP instructions, like making sure that it's all presentable. Because remember, we want very high-profile people being invited to our board, and we want them to take it seriously. We want whatever we're presenting. It doesn't need to be perfect. I mean, I don't care if it's like, I feel like our FQN board recruitment process, our FQN normal recruitment process instructions document, it's like a doc, right? I think it's perfectly fine. It should be updated and professional so that it has the correct information, that the intake form is correct and updated with the most simplest possible intake form that we can all agree to. And then we present all that at the end of the setup. We present it to Mel and the rest of the team and make sure everybody's okay with it. Like if people don't agree with it, then we need to fix it to make it more presentable. Like whatever needs to be done to make it presentable, right? Just like the websites and everything else, the recruitment process is going to be presented to the public. So we want it to be presentable and professional.
Absolutely.
Because Mel's involved, right? So Mel being involved changes the equation because she wants to, she's going to be bringing people that she knows and she wants it to be presented well. And she also wants to get paid too. She wants to have something that's functional and look good. And Oh, and this also includes the website, right? So there is technically the CCC website, which not really part of the actual FQM round, but we can just note that's one of the things that's been holding up the whole process is that the website has not been updated, and Mel was supposed to do it and just never did. So I mean, at some point we just have to do it ourselves.
Absolutely. So, yeah. All right, Jay. Yeah, I mean, this goes into the prime trajectory. Absolutely. Yeah, as we said, they're
Yeah, it's
overlapping.
definitely part of the prime trajectory, right?
Okay.
And especially when we expand it out, like if we're only focusing on the board recruitment, it's just like important because of the budget. But if we're talking about volunteer recruitment, membership recruitment, advisory board and network recruitment, normal paid worker recruitment, I mean, all of this can be part of this recruitment round. And there's no reason not to just present this to everybody we can and see who's interested, get them all on the list, and then follow up with them over time based on what their interest is, right? So I feel like it's very, very important to, when we're posting and going to all this trouble, to invite the public to get involved instead of just a very, very small subsection.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, since we're doing it, let's do it in a way that is not just limited to the CCC board, but who knows what can come up, come out.
So yeah, that sounds good. But really, this wouldn't take very long. It's like you edit the post, you draft the post, you get it approved, and then you go and you start posting it and sending out emails and connecting to all the people and have them communicate with us, right? So that part is actually very, very simple and fast. We could get that done within 24 hours easily if we really wanted to, if we actually got focused on it, right? The problem is not the post and posting the post, right? That's and emailing it to people and asking people to get involved. That's not the problem. It's the same thing as SVG. Like I think we could actually find a client quite easily. Finding the client is actually not the primary problem for SVG. It's the follow-up and actually doing the work. That's the problem, right? So for example, all of this setup stuff and having the recruitment round sheet, the intake form, the pop instructions, the follow-up responsibility organizing, all of this is simply preparation so that once we start having people getting involved, we can handle dealing with them in an organized and professional manner, and we're ready for it, right? Where we have a system to intake people, process them, and then make sure no one falls through the cracks. That is the entire thing that we're focused on, right? So again, my request to you, to not worry about the post and to focus on the process. Focus on the process. The process will automatically get us to the post when it's ready in time to get to the post. And then we'll get the post done. Like the post is just really, for me, minor compared to what I'm concerned about, which is that we're going to have people fall through the cracks and not be professional in the actual follow-up.
Yeah, Jay, absolutely. I'm gonna
because that's been our every and it seems to be the problem with almost everything, that basically we just don't really do the work. We love to edit the website or edit the post and then post the post, but it's like the actual follow-up is where everything kind of falls apart.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna start with the setup, and for the moment, I'm just gonna copy and paste these guidelines into the recruitment process sheet, and then we'll worry about the post when we get there. But I mean, we can definitely do it fairly
and that
quickly.
could be
All of this. I mean, we have
to review the process. Go over the process, see where we are in the process, what is typically happening during the setup, how do we all, and you could start by getting the recruitment round sheet going, and we could actually start having a place where we can pull all the information together.
Yeah. Oh, made a mistake. So, do you want me to do it right now? Yeah, I'm gonna get it ready right now. At least the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I don't care. It's fine if you want to get it started right now. I mean, we already started. It's just a matter of copying and indexing it into the recruitment round sheet.
Yeah.
It would be the recruitment round sheet, right?
Yeah, recruitment round sheet. Yeah.
And if you remember, one of the most important things in the recruitment round sheet is the link to the previous recruitment round, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, cool. So I'm
gonna do it.
we're good,
Right.
right?
So I'm gonna get the other recruitment round sheets as well before.
Yeah, but I think we're done for now, right?
I mean, yeah, I think we covered the two topics as we wanted. So yeah, the desired outcome is achieved for sure. So for me now it's getting late, so I do some little follow-ups and tasks. I'm gonna get this recruitment sheet ready, and yeah, we can talk tomorrow.
All right, great. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yes, thank you, Jay. Just one thing. We'll see tomorrow. I mean, I'm very curious because I mean, we were there with Moth, Joyce, and Mamoon, and so they all clearly agreed during the session that well, they're all gonna show up at Hydra, so they all signed up for the Hydra Octant, and also they said that they understood and agreed on showing up always on Andromeda as well. So hopefully this is gonna happen. Would be very cool. So we were gonna have double during Andromeda. It's gonna be should become the norm to have double buddy teams working.
That would be fabulous. And then the main thing that we need to do, there's two things that need to happen there.
Mhm.
One is that we need to do trajectory model training so people understand how the trajectory can help us get organized so that we're all working on the correct priorities, right? That's very important. The second thing is the coordination. So when you have multi-buddy team sessions, there is a coordination component that has to happen real time during the sessions to make sure that the whole team is coordinated. So like in the past we had it where there, like, let's say you had 3 buddy teams of 2 people.
Okay.
There was one buddy team that we would call the leadership buddy team, and the leadership buddy team would spend 5 to 10 minutes just checking in on the other 2 buddy teams to make sure that they had clear goals, like, or clear responsibilities. They knew what they were working on and that everything was organized before jumping into their own work.
Yeah, cool. Very cool.
And sometimes it's also scheduling, like for the first half hour, we're going to do this. And then the second half hour, we're going to switch around and then we're going to change and do this, So, and then you coordinate that out with the buddy team. So anyways, my only other question is related to what is canceled. Like, so did we cancel everything else, or is everything else, like, what about Saturday, for example? Is it canceled for now?
I mean, we can schedule and create other schedules for sure. But I mean,
Okay, but let's just assume that nothing else is currently scheduled. Does that sound right?
I mean that's what how I understood it, right?
Cool.
Let's focus on getting all these sessions with all the team getting together, everybody showing up, and then I mean scheduling when needed. But let's focus on these 8 sessions per week.
Awesome.
That happened. Yeah. Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much.
I will talk to you later. And
yes.
yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Sleep well. Sleep